Yo, how you guys doing this fine evening? Today we have a little bit of news to go with your painting. Kahi was first with Big. Time to paint some new Ard Boys. Dude, new Ard Boys look so cool. I said it. And I meant it. New Ard Boys are so sick. Big fan of the new sculpt. In particular, I like the tusks. I like the tusk aesthetic.
Which prime?
Don't much care for it on Terminators. Like it on Ard Boys. So, anyway, damn, look at all these subs. It must be that I haven't streamed enough recently. Apologize. I took the weekend off to work on a YouTube video. It's churning away. It's grinding. We're getting to it. At last, Whiskey Lima rented and bought 60 dryads. Wait, you relented. Pardon me. I thought you like rented and bought. 60 dryads and a unit of spirit tree men for $80 at the local game store. Nice. And 10 bucko just started collecting STD just in time for the Christmas box. Big. Yeah, that's part of the news. We got big boxes coming in. Slaves to Darkness, good looking army. You won't be disappointed. If visuals are any consideration, Germ Minis just in. Stonehorn fans likes tusks. Look, Thunder tusks have tusks. Stone horns have horns. So really, it just shows my range. Late news, but hype about 150-3 Annihilators of Shields. It does get really silly. Hector the God. It does. You're not interested in any of the Christmas boxes? Well, join the club. I don't even know what armies they're for, and I'm not interested in them. Because I'm not like a constant buyer, and I bought into this game a while ago, and I'm just chilling. But we're going to go over them anyhow. There was another comment, too. Cruel Drew finished new game Double Plus on Armored Core 6. I still need to get and play that game. I've just had no time to, which is a shame. And I also have a text file on my desktop for Humongous Barthuselans that I also need to read, and I haven't had time to. But I look forward to it. Dude, you look huge. Oh man, that meme still. It's one of the 2 downloaded memes on my phone. I don't do it much. On the plus side, Sylvaneth Battleline paints quick with some air and dry brushing, so you get to be experimental. Oh, you know what? I've been talking this whole time. Could we have some background music? I found a new channel discovered. Could this be one that we won't get pinged for some DMCA stuff on the Heywoah Plus VOD channel in YouTube? SJRK will have to let me know. We'll see. I just want some audio texture in the background. Do you feel me? Anyway, you want to get into Slaves to Darkness, so you think the box for them looks pretty good. It says Evan Double Fisher. Where can I find out about these boxen? Perhaps on the news item called Warhammer Age of Sigmar Battle Forces 4 incredible box sets for the festive season. Oh, all right. What do we got? Once again, it is time to reveal the big army boxes for Warhammer Age of Sigmar, a yearly tradition. These hefty boxes are a fantastic way of kicking off a new collection or adding to your pile of potential. That's a good spin. Warhorde of Eternus, Primordial Star Host, Praetorian Spearhead, Vengorian Court. Okay. What do we got for the Star Host? Let's waste no time in checking out the contents of these 4
Which prime?
brilliant boxes. Just got thanks to the Prime. Only great games thanks to the Tier 1. 32 months for the former, 25 months for the latter. 32 months is nearly 5 years. I went to American public school. I just have to take your word for it on the math there. Heywoah says only great games. Long time no see. Been subbed in the meantime, so I hoped you don't mind a multi-question. I don't mind a multi-question, even from a non-subber. I would just figure you've been lurking or something like that. I got a lot of people that just paint, you know? I got a lot of lurkers in my channel, which is fine. They're chilling. They're just listening to it. Maybe they're driving, you know? Maybe they're cooking macaroni. Maybe they're painting. You don't have to chat, you know? Anyway, only great games. What's your favorite B tier PS2 game? And any thoughts on the Saw franchise of films? Not big into the torture porn subgenre of horror myself. Not big into that subgenre of horror. So I haven't seen any of the Saw films. Haven't been tempted to see any of the Saw films. I've seen some memes from them and stuff. Seems kind of silly. I think there's 10 of them, possibly more. The way horror franchises tend to go is the first one or two are very low budget with a lot of heart and maybe even have some pretty good ideas to them. And then it becomes a franchise where seemingly each one is in a competition to find out which one can be the worst and most soulless. And there's just like a million after that are all progressively more and more terrible and soulless. But I don't know specifically in Saw's case if that's true or not. Is it? Kind of interested to know. You've collected all the level 2 emotes for my own channel. Thanks, Twitch. I appreciate the pop-up. Thanks for the pop-up letting me know I've collected all of the emotes for my own channel. Damn, dude. Anyone else? Any other all emote collectors in here? And so anyway, as I've been talking about Saw this whole time, you might be realizing that I'm stalling on the B tier PlayStation 2 game question. It's been many moons since I've played PlayStation 2. Okay, my age is such that I had a PlayStation 2 in college, all right? That's the age we're talking about here. So long story short, it's been a while. I don't know, man. I don't know what my favorite B tier PlayStation 2 game is. There were a ton of PlayStation 2 games that I really liked. It was a dominant console for its generation. In fact, it shit on the console wars of its generation. What would you even call a B tier? Off it. Damn. I liked the Final Fantasies. Well, nah, I liked the first Final Fantasy that came out for PS2. Final Fantasy X. It's been long enough that I think we can all admit that 10 was one of the best Final Fantasies. And the last good one, the last good Final Fantasy, literally, was 10. And I'm talking about single player mainline. You know, don't come at me with this FF14 stuff, all right? X2 is great. I literally played X2 so that I could tell you that you are wrong. But it did have a cool game mechanic idea, which 13 iterated upon and made less fun. So there is that. You like 12? I liked what 12 would have become had the designer of it not suffered a nervous breakdown. And then some other guy come in and kind of shit all over the walls and ceiling of the place. I liked the potential of 12. Didn't much like the final product, especially the single-player MMO-style gameplay. At the time, people just dealt with MMO gameplay. They didn't actually enjoy it. Anyway. And I played 11, so I know a thing or two about real annoying, time-consuming MMOs. PS2 was released before you were born. Oh, Jesus Christ. The age. 14 is the best fantasy MMO on the market, just your opinion? Well, yeah, but it doesn't have any competition. What's 14's competition? Modern World of Warcraft? No. Classic World of Warcraft? Maybe. If you're nostalgic and old, which I am, so I like it. But, yeah. I don't know. 14 is a big accomplishment. Congratulations, Yoshi P. But I'm gonna be real, in a cosmic sense, 14 is mid. It's just that all of its competition shit itself. And And that's it. It has no good, there are no good MMOs. That's it. And then 14 is like, okay, and so it's the winner. I'm not trying to pull too much away from 14 here, even though it probably sounds like I am, but... AOS 6 is the best fantasy MMO on the market. Yeah, true. You wish there was better competition? Yeah. Because it would improve, you know, it would probably improve things. Generally speaking, you know, when you have competition instead of no competition, it either forces you to get better or die. Not always, but that tends to be the case. Too many companies blew their MMO load too soon. I think it's too many companies tried to do the MMO thing, which was a trap. They saw how successful World of Warcraft was, and EverQuest before it, and they're like, damn, we need to do this, it prints money, and they didn't realize that the MMO is the most expensive type of game ever to design, and it could flop instantly. And a normal game flopping instantly is fine because the pre-orders will cover it, but for an MMO that's not true. Like it takes you 10 years and $1 billion to make an MMO, and it's going to suck. And so like that's the problem with making MMOs nowadays. The market is too different. It's so different. In the before time, in like year 2000, if you're coming out with an MMO, the fact that it was an MMO was like the driver of half of its own sales because it was such a brand new thing. And now it's been kind of distilled into its basic parts, just like, ooh, let's talk about all of our systems and how you get loot and stuff. Anyway, let's not. Jet Set Radio was a great one. I think that was Xbox though, originally, VMUG. Or Jet Grind Radio. Jeez, I can't remember which one came first and which one is which, to be perfectly honest. Although I played them at the time. I think that was a Microsoft game. Maybe it was a multi-system thing. Obi Watts, thanks for the Prime for 30 months. Bam. Good work. WildStar looked like it had one of the most unique gameplays. WildStar had some cool gameplays. It was probably destined to fail, but it was good that it came about so that other MMOs could steal from it and be better. It's very hard to get them to switch to a new game. Yeah, that's the beauty of it. The reason you as a business would want an MMO is because it gets people into a sunk cost fallacy, right? Like, they've played this MMO for 10 years, and switching to a new one, they're just going to leave so much behind that it causes a bunch of inertia, which is good for you. You remember playing other games while on Flight Paths and WoW? Yeah, I remember playing Gems while medding for mana and EverQuest. Same deal. What did you miss, Monsieur Heywoah, says Sandy but Dandy. Nothing. We're talking about EverQuest and shit. I was about to start talking about these Battle Force boxes, but then a way more interesting conversation started up, and here we are talking about it because it's the live show. You like Baldur's Gate 3? Same. It's not really an MMO though. Technically has multiplayer, but not really an MMO. It's kind of like Diablo 4. Technically is an online game, but I wouldn't go so far as to call it an MMO. Twisted Metal. That was a fun one. EverQuest on PS2 with a keyboard attachment. Hell yeah. There was Lost Dungeons of Norath, I believe, on the PS2. Good call out. Fluke Skywalker thinks it's a tier 1. What do we think about the new Dragons rules? Oh, I'm going to go over those today, so I'll let you know. Def Jam, dude, Def Jam and Def Jam Vendetta, remember that? I believe Diablo was on PS2. That was not good. I believe Baldur's Gate was on PS2. That was not a good experience. I didn't get them because, I mean, why? But PS2 had some of the good Tony Hawks. That was a good one. I think the last good one was probably 3. All the Metal Gears. I can't count those though because they're not B tier. Like, I'm thinking of all the S tier and A tier PS2 games, but I'm trying. You asked me to think of the B tier ones that I liked. What are we thinking about? Like fucking Gungrave or something, where he's shooting people with a coffin, and it's the most low budget 007 Nightfire. Gungrave broke your TV. Well, they made the game with $12. Katamari Damacy, that's an S tier game. You study that game in game design school. It doesn't count as a B tier. But good, I mean, good call out, Brandon Mate, but it's too good. You were thinking Gungrave? You could beat it in 2 hours? We did. And then there was also a sequel, and it was even worse. It had a guitar guy in it, I remember. No, it's not our favorite PS2 games, Dinma. Specifically, it's our favorite B tier PS2 games. And so we have to hold back our power level and think of some mid-ass game that was like kind of good or kind of enjoyable anyway. God of War is a good call out, because God of War is for sure like a B tier, you know, mid +1 franchise, especially back then. So that might work out. Onimusha, I remember that. Killer 7, that's one of the Odas. That's one of Oda joints, right? Is that? I think it was. I can't remember anymore. Killer 7 is art house. Yeah, it is. It's Need for Speed. No, I don't. For me personally, fast car go fast games are uninteresting in the extreme. I would rather play a game that I hated than play a fast car go fast, like a racing game. Because if I hated a game, I could at least find enjoyment making fun of it. I would have an emotion. But in a racing game, there's such a void of there's just no feeling. It's the most boring thing to me. I would take a pain. I would take pain as a feeling over that. Kingdom Hearts is, oh damn, I was just about to read that. Should I not have CJ Busta? Anyway, get shot, idiot. Kingdom Hearts 2 is S tier. I remember playing Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. Then there was like 2.1, 2.5, eventually a 3 maybe somewhere. That series went crazy real fast. 1 and 2 were like quality ass games for their time and place. And then the series went insane and released 5 different versions, and it was nuts. Bully was a good one. Yo, what about Chaos Legion? There we go. Chaos Legion was a great B tier PS2 game. Did anybody ever play Chaos Legion? I believe it was a Squaresoft game. Some dude with pink hair, maybe orange hair. Main character's name was Sieg Varheit or something like that. I think it was a beat 'em up, shoot 'em up kind of thing. One of those like one-dimensional character, one-dimensional games where there's just nothing to it, but you just shoot. B tier PS2 God Hand. I liked God Hand even though it was really hard. A bunch of much better games stole all its mechanics, and it was responsible for beat 'em ups being good for the next 10 years. I don't recall it. I don't know how good it was. God Hand is one of those games that everyone pretended to give S tier 10 years after it came out, but at the time no one knew it or cared and said it was bad. God Hand is a B tier game and game reviews only. Battlefront 2 on the PSP, Broadhand. Devil May Cry, you loved it, but it wasn't good. Yeah, actually Devil May Cry games on PS2, they were great as well. They were great. Stupid and great. Dynasty. I never played the Dynasty Warriors. My friends were. And I know the Lu Bu meme, but... Your favorite B tier game that no one remembers is Gallo Reigns, but that was PS1. I don't remember that, so you got me there. Burnout 3 Takedown fucking rules. Burnout, dude. You choose Pretenders. Could you bring an Exalted Bladebringer that isn't the General? You have one reinforced Exalted Chariot to synergize. You choose Pretenders. Bring one Exalted Bladebringer that isn't the General, asks Voidspark. I'd have to open up the Slaanesh book and figure that out. I'm not familiar enough with their rules to give you a good answer to that off the top of my head, Voidspark. I'm sorry. Why no Beastclaw Battle Force? Because Beastclaw is no longer an army. It's half of an army. It's part of one of those destruction soup books they're too lazy to release different battle tomes for because they don't think anyone cares. You know, like Orc War Clans. It's 3 unique armies that all had their own army books in the past. Shoved into one book like so much coal in Christmas stockings. Because who gives a fuck? They're all orcs, right? Do they do that anywhere else in the whole game? No. Just for us. Just for orcs and ogres. Lumineth Realm Lords are elves. Ident Deepken are elves. Daughters of Cain are elves. Shit, dude, they're all the same race. Why don't you put them in the same fucking book? I'm mad. Anyway. I remember Time Splitters. Galarians was like Resident Evil, but as a psychic kid with powers instead of using guns. That's cool, Obi Watts. Hey, what was that other game that was like Resident Evil but better? Parasite Eve. Can we count that as a B tier forgotten gem? Or was that PS1, not PS2? I can't remember. But anyway, Parasite Eve. That shit was awesome. Impressively good controls for being very early 3D. Was it PS1? Okay, it doesn't count, damn. But it was better than Resident Evil, which isn't saying much. Those games were not good. I can definitively say. The games garnered themselves a lot of fans, but they were shit. Don't add me. They don't do that for anyone else but orcs. Don't make that claim. The monkey paw will close and Duarden will be condensed into one book. Whiskey Lima, I wasn't just talking about orcs. Orcs, ogres, honestly a little bit of Gloomspite. But that was a long time ago for Gloomspite, right? And it'd be a huge mistake to do it for dwarves, of course. I don't know why. Surely nobody's asking that, right? Surely nobody wants that to happen. Like Fireslayer, KO players, like, can we get our own dwarf book where everybody's in it? Why would you ask for that? It's like, please give my army half of the time and effort. Because now we're doing one book, so you just cut it in half and you get half the time and effort spent on your faction than you used to. Who would want such a thing? Don't lobby for this. You're lobbying against your best interests. What is this, politics? Put down the iPod, pick up the iGod. Yeah. Halo was your shit. Halo is a good B tier. That was an Xbox though. That wasn't PS2. But Halo is a good suggestion. It's like the ultimate B tier shooter of that era. It was like okay. Most of its faults had to do with the fact that it was on a console instead of a PC. It was like aggressively mid, but console players had nothing else to compare it to, and so it took off. It became huge. It's a pity the games never got any good, but what are you gonna do? Beef tier shooter. All Destruction are just soup books, except Gargants, yeah. And I don't like it. Latino hot. Good name. Good name. In my personal life, I found that to be true. If you're Fire Slayers, you might do it just to get more models. It's a trap. Don't Don't you dare do it. It doesn't give you more models. It makes it less likely that you'll get new ones in the future. And it'll mean that all those useless ass war scrolls in your book that have been shit forever, there's even less likely they'll try to fix them. They're like, this sucks, but who cares? They can just play a KO model, am I right? Don't do it. Don't live like me. There are a couple people who reside in your server who think the dwarf soup is cool. Statistically, it's bound to happen. But you couldn't be more wrong. And in fact, you're wishing for your own demise and destruction. You're begging for the chains to be wrapped around your hands. Okay? Some people don't know what they're asking for, right? You know? Halo 1 was just a mediocre sequel to a Marathon. I don't know if you're memeing or not, but that's 100% true. It was at the time, and with the benefit of hindsight, it also is true. Yeah. It's just console people had never seen a shooter before. That's it. Have you considered playing Faith, the Unholy Trinity for Halloween? Atari graphics horror game? I've been looking at some horror games, not gonna lie. There's one called like Horror World or something like that. And it had one of those, I don't know, the art aesthetic was so excellent, but I was suspicious of the gameplay part of it. And then I looked at some reviews, and all the reviews are like, if this was a movie or an animation package, it would be a 10 out of 10. Amazing. But all the gameplay elements are so shit that it actually ruins the whole experience. And I'm like, damn, I'm mad. Because that's what I thought it might be. Anyway, I should do Faith Unholy Trinity. All right, let's write it down. Where's my notes? I got to bring up the... Where's Live Doc? Help. This show. Live Doc. Okay. Hold on. I've opened up the Live Doc. All right. What's this one? Faith Unholy Trinity game for Halloween. All right, we got my notes here. Yeah, it's just a short document. It's 25,420 words at this moment. It's Live Doc 2. Nice. Did you get hailed on at your house today? Yeah, I did. Well, I mean, conceivably the house did. I heard it. I heard it from inside. I'm not about to leave the house, obviously, right? I'm a hermit in a wizard tower, but I heard it. I heard it happen. I like precipitation. It's fun. I like to hear it. What else is happening? Pretenders gives you 3 command points and lets you give the same command for the price of 1. Exalted Bladebringer can cast the same command 2 times. Exalted Chariot gets 1 attack when receiving a command from Exalted Bladebringer. Oh, do check the FAQ on that. Because I'm kind of remembering there was some really fun combo that people realized when we were looking at the book when it just came out, and I think the FAQ made the combo not work anymore. But just to be safe, check it out, Void Spark, because that's ringing a bell now that might have happened. Faith uses rotoscoping for the cinematic, so it keeps the single-digit bit graphics but can pull off cinematic scenes. Oh, that's fun. Rotoscoping, old school. It's fun. Not strictly horror, but Obra Dinn is awesome as well. Obra Dinn, what's that? You want a Hexen remake? Sub 100k, nice, clean and to the point. Yeah, this one's not bad. Our other one got 100k and I had to remake it. funny people asked you to release that. They don't know how, like, off the cuff it is. It wouldn't make any sense. Like, punish terrain in your hero phase, pick Curse of Agony, Curse of Doom, Tongue's Exhaustion. What is this? Endoless spells. Really quite good, but easily dispelled. 40 exclamation point, Nightmare Predator, cast 5. You know, it's just like more technically guard, Immortan Joard, Necropolitan S Talkers. I mean, Quad Brain. It's like hard to chew through, and it's sort of like nonsensical. If I just released this, I don't know how much use people could get out of it. It's kind of like point and click adventure mystery. I love those. I grew up playing those. Obra Dinn point and click game for Halloween, maybe. All right. It's like a mean mom. Yeah, well, some of them don't have any. Anyway, Primordial Star Host. It looks like it features a Slan Starmaster, 10 Saurus Warriors, 3 Croxagore, 3 Agoradon Lancers, and the Hunters of Huan Chi. The Hunters of Quan Chi from Mortal Kombat, a warband of chameleon skinks that pepper foes, poison darts, and send Terra Wings to claw and peck. Terra Wings included, looks like. Is this too loud? I just noticed. It's like one song. Let's skip it. Is this a good box? Seraphon players? Do you want this? I heard Croxagores aren't that good. I don't think these guys are that good either. Saurus are good if you go all in supporting them. I don't think this box is kind of all over the place. It's kind of all over the place. It's not very focused. When you build a list, you tend to build a focused list. If you're buying stuff to just paint it, you probably want all over the place. So, kind of depends on what you're after. Don't release it, Heywoah. You can guarantee the wrong person will pick it up for a cult around it, and that's the holy text. I wouldn't mind having a cult if they send me money. Isn't that the point? Isn't the point of making a cult? It's like a giant scam to just make money, generally. Just, unfortunately, it seems like a 50-50 shot, you know, at the end of the scam is like a face-off with the FBI and you get shot. That's like one of the downsides. Cults are famously for-profit enterprises. Yeah, I think so. Maybe I don't want that. I don't want to have a plantation. I just want to get money for doing nothing. Why do you think I'm a streamer? I don't want to, like, go to Arizona or fucking... Because it's always some desert, right? I don't know. It's always some farm compound or whatever in the desert. I don't want to live there. It's too hot. And for booty? Yeah, true, yeah. Yeah. Having multiple wives is like 90% you're in a cult, or you're starting a cult to be able to do that. And it's like one of the big reasons, historically speaking. That's a big one. I don't know why someone would want to have multiple wives. I don't have any wives. Why would someone want to have multiple? That's too much. That seems like too much to me. Too much work. I don't know. Maybe if you're the savior, then things are different for you. I'm not sure. You heard of a 6 Agoradon thing that slaps pretty hard? That's good to hear, Latino Hot. Because I was hoping they would be good. You never like it when a new model isn't any good. Any paleontologists in the chat? Hopefully, they might get a kick out of the army. Strength of Godhood got FAQ'd. Yeah, but that's for the general, and my Exalted Bringer isn't a Jenny. Oh, okay. And as long as this isn't one of the factions that makes everything a general automatically, then perhaps it still works, Void Spark. Could be fun. I think it's worth a try on TTS, just to make sure, you know, at very least. It's a good box of all brand new cool models with a decent Coatls Claw list starter. Okay, so you could build something out of this. Isn't that what plantations are? Money for nothing? No, that's a song. A pretty good song, even. You didn't find any of the battle forces a must-buy this year? Is this what recovery is like? I don't think... How do I say this in a nice way? Do you normally think that these boxes are like a must-buy? Even if you don't play anything in it? Is this how people think? Sucks if you bought the Army and Vanguard boxes already? I don't know. Depends on what's in it, right? What would you have saved? $20? And you bought the Army and Vanguard boxes months ago and painted them up and stuff? You know, I don't know. I don't think it... To me, it wouldn't suck that bad. But I look at this stuff in a weird way. Theosic. Bourbon and purple drank. Redeem and switch hats. Alright, I will. I will switch hats. Before the next box review. Hey, that's a lot of words. Sorry that happened. Or congratulations. Awesome, now I just need to find a Slanesh Chariot STL. Whoa, whoa. Hey. What did I just say? Try before you buy. Play on Tabletop Simulator. See if it works out, you know. I don't need to jump the gun and spend money before you know. I don't know. Maybe that's how you like it, though. Can't tell you how to live. I'm just saying. Might as well try before you buy. Painted them up and stuff. You wish that's how it worked. It could be. The only one standing in between that and reality is you. Sure did, sweats nervously. Okay. You mean like not worth it if you already have the boxes, but you see your point. Yeah, it's, you know. If there's a Beast Claw box on sale, I'm like, damn, I would have really liked that 7 years ago when I was buying Beast Claw, but, you know, I've been playing them the whole time. Anyway, Arterius wants to talk about Unholy Trinity, which is already in the maybe pile, so I don't need to be sold on it. It's in the maybe pile already. Don't worry about it. It's in the pile. You're more tempted to get the 2 dragons plus a character dragon than you are for the Seraphon box because you got the Slan with the intro box. Dude, that new Relictor, the Dragolictor, that dude looks so sick. Boy, I hope his rules aren't bad. I hope he's good. And we're going to check that out right after I scroll down a few times here. In Tabletop Simulator, you can simulate having money. True. Paint 1 model a day quickly became paint 1 layer per day. Even painting 1 layer per day is progress. You know? If you paint 0 layers a day, you will never finish. If you paint 1 layer a day, it's possible that you will finish, right? This is Arch Cavalos Xanthos. Or Liege Cavalos, because it's the same box. 20 Mortec Guard, 5 Death Riders, a Gothazar Harvester, which will have no use whatsoever, and 4 Margast Archai, which you probably won't be using. Maybe 2 of them, if you're a member of my Discord. This is okay. It features an entire monster that's 100% worthless, which is unfortunate. And that's probably, like, you might save... Whatever you're saving from buying this box probably goes into this useless guy, and so you're breaking even. But everything else is good. I mean, there aren't too many units in this army, so it would have been hard to... But he's cool. He is cool. He was almost good for, like, 1 week, and then they changed it. Cool model, though. How about painting 1 highlight a week? It's more than I paint. So you got me there. Slavs to Darkness. Warhorde of Eternus. 3 Ogreroid Therodons, the boys. 5 Chaos Knights, Turnus. 5 Chosen, 10 Chaos Warriors. But there's a twist. Build a Turnus as a Chaos Lord on Demonic Mount, and you've got a Force loyal to Archeon. Or have you? Lost track of who works for whom. Be whom works for, anyway. What do you like in here? Eternus is, like, pet unit playable, for sure. You will want 5 more Chosen. 10 Chaos Warriors is always good. I think people like Varangard more than Chaos Chosen or Chaos Knights. And these guys slap the shit out of people, but then they die instantly. And Slaves players don't like making that trade. So all in all, this is really comes down to whether you're going to play Eternus in your list and whether you're going to play these or not. Everything looks amazing. It seems to be the take for like all of these boxes is they're kind of all over the place, but everything in them just looks great. So, except for these 4. These don't look great, but what are you going to do? Buy 3 boxes, run all 3 Eternuses as Varangard. True. Actually, good idea. You have 10 Chosen, 15 Knights, and 40 Warriors. You could make anything. The Harvester is okay now. Oh, is it? The Mortec got more of a thing, and the Immortus got nerfed. Oh, okay. Underhanded gene. Eternus should have been a wizard. True. He should have had 1 more power, but that's every Chaos Lord on a mount. They're all missing a power. Every one of them. Because they're like, okay, their wheel's pretty good. They gotta pull people into combat ability on the charge. They're like kind of okay at fighting. You wish they were a little better at fighting. And then you're like done reading their war scroll and you're like, yeah, but what's their ability? It's just not printed there. That's my criticism of all the Chaos Lords on mounts. Like Karkadrak and Eternus and Chaos Lord on mount. Because they're all missing like a 1 paragraph that gives you a reason to play them. In my IMO. And now we got a spooky Vengorian Court. Yeah, which is also kind of all over the place. Skeletons, dogs, bats, some vampires, and Monstar. Who I can never remember the name of. Oh, is it just default Vengorian Lord? Okay. I was about to say Lokavi, but I don't think this isn't the Lokavi character. I don't think. It's the ultimate, or it's the alternate sculpt, I think. Anyway, yeah, this one's kind of all over the place too. The Blood Knights are weird in a Vengorian Lord list. Oh, that is her? Okay. I thought she didn't have the sword. I thought she had the other thing. Alright. This thing's all over the place. Don't buy it. You don't want it. Like, perhaps you want dogs as your summonable of choice, or perhaps you want skeletons, or perhaps you want zombies, but you never, I don't think, want both. And then these guys, you're probably only playing in a Legion of Blood. I don't know what the bats do. Generic one is holding it over their head. Okay. Bats are zoomy. Harvesters will be good again some eventually anyway. Probably. Meeps. They aren't inherently bad, just overcosted after the nerf. Some drops and they'll be fine. Hopefully. You can usually say stuff like that. Like, eventually this thing will be good. Some units have managed to dodge that for the entirety of Age of Sigmar. And so just like Malarian and the Shadow Elves coming out, like, eventually it's bound to happen. Someday. The bats are $55 for 3. That's crazy. I mean, look at this. They're very detailed and exquisitely posed bats. You know? I can't say that they're not. But when you just say $55 for 3 bats, it sounds bad. It's bad optics. Felt like the first good GW wings to paint ever. Okay. They look like they're fun to do. 80-point unit. Yeah, points per model is rough there. Or dollars per model, maybe.